Well, I had a request several weeks ago from Billy to do a little report on the Hunts Point market. And I went out this week and did it. And the thing that you need to know is that the Hunts Point market doesn't look anything like what Billy and I recall from the big meat market on Atlantic and Flatbush Avenues in Brooklyn in the 1960s. Just nothing like it. Actually, it's an area of hundreds of acres, maybe 300 or 400 acres, and there are three major markets in there, one for the Fulton Fish Market, one for meat, and one for produce. Now, the thing is, you can't get in them. They're surrounded by fences and parking lots. It's just nothing like what we recall, and you can't see very much. However, so you don't have to go there. Here's what the Hunts Point market looks like. Now, this week I had an appointment at the VA, and I went over there, and here's what that was all about. I'm on my way to the VA. Got a dermatology appointment, and you may hear in the background Waze talking through my iPhone, giving me directions for how to get there. It's always a problem getting to the VA. Anyway, dermatology. And what I got is some little thing that's bothering me on my ear, which I'm sure
in 1,000 feet, turn left.
I'm sure they'll take care of. The thing I'm not going to do, they'll do a nose-to-toes examination, but the thing I'm absolutely not going to do is to use Effudex anymore. That stuff is just torture. I've gone through two courses of treatment with it in the past, and I'll tell you what, it's just awful. So anyway, an afternoon at the VA, leaving early. The idea is it's really tough to get a spot.
Turn left on Spencer Drive.
All right, here's Spencer Drive. Turn left. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll keep you filled in. Oh Jesus! I'll keep you filled in on what happens with this appointment.
Turn left on Griswold Avenue.
Well, I've arrived, and what a convoluted way Waze took me. It ended up going all the way up to 222nd Street. Well, anyway, here I am, and ready to go in a little bit early. Maybe I'll get in early, but no Effudex, no way. Well, that was about as successful a visit to a dermatologist as I've ever had. You know, I think the VA is okay in terms of healthcare, but I think the dermatology in the Bronx is first class. The doctors there, they rotate 6 months in Columbia Presbyterian, 6 months in the VA. This appointment took 10 minutes. The stuff that I pointed out to her, she scraped and froze, and then as long as she had the can of freeze stuff out, she froze some more stuff. So, I mean, they're holding out the possibility they may want to do more Effudex in the fall, but we're not up to that yet, so I'm not going to worry about it. Now, I got the hassle of...
Stay to the left, East Kingsbridge Road, underpass.
Okay, that's Waze telling me how to get home, which is going to be a whole lot less convoluted than getting here. So anyway, that's the report from the VA. Well, I was very satisfied that I didn't get an Effudex treatment, although it's, as I mentioned, I think it's possible that that's still going to come up in the fall. Now I want to change pace a little bit. For those of you who follow the recap, you know that I religiously avoid politics. But I think based on the events of the past week, I think I really need to get into politics. And specifically what I'm referring to is the Mets' 4-game series with Philadelphia. They were just awful, absolutely awful losses. And, the Mets are now, 8 or 9 games under 500. They're way, way out of it. The season is almost over, coming into the All-Star break, which is better than last year where it was over by Memorial Day. But here's the political question. Is it time to retire my Mets cap and to start watching the Yankees? I don't know about watching the Yankees, rooting for the Yankees. I have a suspicion that it'd be kind of un-American to do that. But the Mets are playing really rotten baseball. What do you think? Is it time to move over to the Yanks? Me, I'm really not sure. Well, I'm going to close this week's recap out with a look at the fireworks at Orchard Beach last night. And my idea is get everybody in the mood for the holidays coming up, 4th of July. This weekend, we're going to be going over and seeing Mary Kate, Kathleen, Paul Jordan. Looking forward to that. So anyway, everybody have a terrific weekend, and we'll see you back here next week. And let me know what you think about watching the Yankees.